So many people never start a business that could give them financial freedom, allow them to work from anywhere and go travel, or just give them time back in their day to spend with loved ones or to go to the gym and focus on their health for one simple reason. They're afraid of sales. They like the idea of starting a business, but they don't want to deal with the cold calling and rejection that is often necessary when getting going, especially in the beginning when you don't have the funds to hire a sales team. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to sell high level without coming off as salesy, without getting rejected, and without doing any cold calling whatsoever. What's up, everyone? My name is Bryce Newman, and I am not a natural salesperson. Growing up, I was shy, introverted, and I actually got my degree in engineering, which should tell you a lot because I was the exact opposite of a salesperson. And I always had this notion in my head that salespeople were all like the stereotypical used car salesman who's just trying to make the sale, super slimy, and just does anything, lies, cheats, anything to make the sale. And that's over time kind of disintegrated, and I've constructed a new belief around salespeople and what sales is. I've since become a salesperson because I was so interested in the topic, and so I'm going to share with you what I've learned and the proper way to go about making sales and selling high level to business owners without coming off as salesy, without getting rejected, and without doing any cold calling. There's these methods and formulas that we can use, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to providing value and coming up with solutions. That's the way that I like to sell. I don't like to sell with tactics and all these other things. There is one simple formula that I'm going to show you that I do like because it brings the focus to the problems that we can solve for the end user and for our potential customer. But other than that, I really just like delivering value and showing exactly how problems can be solved instead of trying to use all these always be closing tactics and things like that. That's not my style. So in this video, I'm going to show you how most people go about selling high level and what I think is wrong with that, and how I go about selling high level and why I go about it this way. So the way that most people go about selling high level, and I've heard so many people talk about this, and I've joined courses and watched tons of videos about people preaching that you need to make 100 cold calls every single day, and you need to reach out by email and Facebook messages and Instagram DMs and anything you can do to get in front of potential customers. And they view it as strictly a numbers game, and this just takes so much time every single day, and there's so much rejection involved, so it's tough to keep going. And I think there's a better way. Instead of just sending Instagram DMs to anyone and reaching out to anyone and everyone that you can think of and just sending them cold messages, there is a better way, and I'm going to talk about that. But first, I want to go over the two big mistakes that I see people making when they try to sell high level. And the first big mistake that I see people make when they've set up a call and they're trying to sell high level to a client is that they only focus on the features. And at the end of the day, business owners don't care about features. They care about their own problems. And it's not just business owners, it's everyone in general. People only care about the things that affect them, and they want to talk about the things that they care about. So if you're showing up and hopping on a call and you start talking about this software that you know how great it is because you spend all of your time learning about it, and high level becomes your life, and this is just, you know how it can help them, but then you spend all your time talking about the features, they don't care. They want to know how it's going to solve their issues. And so if you go in and you just talk websites and calendars and automation and marketing, then they're going to get a glazed over look, and they're going to be like, I don't need this, because you haven't shown them how it's going to benefit them. And so in a little bit, I'm going to show you the formula that I use that involves features, but it also goes through and shows you and gives you a step-by-step process to follow that shows you how to sell high level by putting it in terms of things that they care about. So I'll go through that soon, but first I want to go through the second mistake that I see people making, and that is they think more is better. And high level is constantly coming out with new features and constantly improving, and that's one of the absolute best parts about high level. It is constantly improving and getting so much better every single day. But if you go to a business owner and you just start spewing all the knowledge that you have about high level, and this doesn't apply to just high level, this applies to any sale in general. If you just spew all the knowledge that you have and expect them to retain it and grasp it, then you're kidding yourself. Because you have to think about how long it took you to get all of that knowledge. You've probably spent weeks or months figuring out how to use high level and really mastering the software, and it's just impossible to convey all of that knowledge to a business owner in a matter of 45 minutes to an hour and a half on a call. And so there is a better way than trying to go through all the features and showing them how it can benefit their business in all of these different ways. There's actually a principle in psychology known as the choice overload bias. And the choice overload bias is giving people too many choices to the point where they get paralyzed by the amount of choices that they have. They get overwhelmed and they just freeze and they can't make a decision. And this is especially prominent in bigger decisions, and it just causes people to freeze up and they don't want to make a decision. And I'm sure if you've ever been to the Cheesecake Factory, they've got a menu that's the size of a book and has an endless amount of options. And I absolutely hate going there because I don't want to flip through all of that and make a decision. I feel like I'm missing out because I'm not getting what I want, or there's just so many options and maybe I didn't see what I want. And there's always this nagging feeling in the back of my head of, did I make the right choice, or was there a better option that I didn't see or that I just forgot about because there's so many options? And the same thing happened just this past weekend. My girlfriend and I went to Handles, and they've got 100 different types of ice cream, and I got there and I was like, there's too many freaking options. And these places, Handles and Cheesecake Factory, can get away with it because you're already there, you're at a physical location, it's ice cream, so of course you're going to get it. Or it's a dinner that you're already sitting in the booth, you're not going to get up and leave. But if you're on a Zoom call with a business owner and you overload them with options, then they are just going to say no, because you've made it easier for them to say no than you have for them to say yes. So what you want to do is you want to make it easier for them to say yes than to say no. And so that leads us right into the right way to go about selling high level. And this is how I go about selling high level. And from the beginning, it starts out with a different mode of doing prospecting. And yes, there is still outreach that you need to do, but you can actually get more customers by doing more warm-ish outreach as opposed to just strictly cold outreach. So what that looks like is, instead of just scraping an email list of digital marketing agencies and firing off mass emails and playing the numbers game and hoping that one of them responds, you can actually go to more targeted Facebook groups, join groups that are already focused on something that you know high level could help them out with, such as groups for small business owners in your local area. Join those groups and then provide value. Instead of making a post that's all about taking and saying, hey, we've got this service that we want you to buy, or we've got this product that you should buy, go in there and say, hey, could anyone use a free website? And of course, more people are going to take you up on a free website, because every single business needs a website. And so many business owners don't have the slightest idea of how to go about making a website, and they don't want to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars to get a website. Yes, thousands of dollars. There are SEO websites that people create that they sell for upwards of $5,000 per website. And so if you go in there and you say, hey, who needs a free website? And then you hop on a call with them and let them know, hey, here's what I can do for you. Talk about what they want. Let them know that you'll make them a free website. And you also have these other things. You can build them a funnel. You can set up automation for them. You can help with their email marketing or their text message marketing. And you can add forms and you can add chat widgets and all of these other things that HighLevel has to offer. You don't necessarily need to tell them all of that. And we've talked about why you don't want to tell them all that because you're going to overwhelm them. But if you say, hey, do you need a website? And also I can add a chat widget to this website. People pay hundreds of dollars every single month just for a chat widget. And so when you build them a website, you get your foot in the door and then you say, hey, let's add a chat widget to that. And all of a sudden you can charge them for a subscription to HighLevel, and they've got a website, they've got the chat widget. You're charging them, let's say, $97 per month for the base plan. And then you talk to them once they've got comfortable with the software and you let them know, hey, we can also do these other things. And then you move them up the tiers. So they start out with the $97 per month plan, they get comfortable, and then you show them some more features and bump them up to the $297 per month plan. And then once they've gotten comfortable with those features, you say, hey, and also we can set up your automation for you and have all these things running so that you can take a step back. This will save you time and allow you to focus your attention on other aspects of your business. Let's bump you up to the $497 per month plan. And you can see how you stair step them up this value ladder instead of throwing the kitchen sink at them and expecting them to be overjoyed that there's a solution for everything. So reaching out in Facebook groups that are targeted towards people that you know are going to be receptive towards what you're selling allows you to go in and get more warm leads as opposed to strictly cold calling and hoping that someone bites. And so that's how I get started. And then when I hop on the phone with them, I talked about one method, which is start with a website and then go up from there. But if I'm hopping on the phone with someone that's just talking about HighLevel in general, then I want to spend the majority of the time learning about their business and figuring out what their biggest pain point is. And that's crucial. You don't want to figure out what their pain points are. You want to figure out what their biggest pain point is. So for example, if you're on a call with a business owner and you're asking questions, learning about their business, and you're like, hey, what are some of the problems in your business that got you to hop on a call with me today? They may say some things like, well, we've got a website, but it's a little bit outdated and our customers say it's a little bit confusing. Oh, and we've forgotten to follow up with a few leads recently because Johnny thought that Sally was going to follow up and Sally thought that Johnny was going to follow up. And this isn't necessarily the first time that this has happened. And we've had a few customers that haven't showed up to appointments recently. And when they call to reschedule, they apologize and they say that they just completely forgot about it. And then finally, we have just 4 different softwares that we're using and they don't really talk to each other. And we saw that maybe this was an all-in-one software and we were hoping that we could consolidate everything into one software that actually communicated with each other. Okay, so you're talking to a business owner that knows a little bit about the software. They've done some research. They've at least looked at the website. They've seen some of the things that are offered through this software. And the natural tendency, at least what I found myself doing a lot in the beginning of sales, was trying to fix every single one of those. I'd be like, oh, great. Well, we've got a software that can handle all those. We can build a website for you, and here's how you build a website. And we can handle that appointment booking problem because we've got an online booking calendar that you can set up and allows you to automatically create calendars and have them book appointments online. And then you can set up these automations and it'll automatically follow up with them. And we've got this CRM that allows Johnny to know when he's got appointments and Sally knows when she's got customers that she needs to deal with. And it gets confusing quickly. And we get back to that choice overload bias where the customer came in, they wanted a problem solved, and you gave them so many options that they're like, I don't know what to do. They get paralyzed and they say no, even though you can solve all of them. So what do we do instead? You ask follow-up questions. You try and figure out which one of those is the biggest problem. And you can't necessarily always go about this directly. If you say, well, which one of those is the biggest problem for you? They may say, well, all of them are a big problem and we want to solve all of them. So you have to go about it a little bit differently and ask questions and probe and really figure out which one is the biggest problem for them. So you could ask questions like, all right, well, how much traffic are you getting to your website? And what does that look like as far as their experience? What are customers saying? And they're like, well, we've just had a few customers complain that it looks outdated and we really don't get that much traffic because we haven't been pushing that much traffic to our website. And then you know that because they don't already have a ton of traffic flowing through their website, updating their website isn't going to make a huge difference in their business right out of the gates. So you move on to the next thing. Okay, well, how about appointment booking? How many times has this happened? Is this commonly occurring? And they may say something like, well, it happened once this week, and then it happened last month, and it's not super common, but we'd really like to come up with a new way of doing it. Okay, fixing a once a month problem, depending on how big their product is, if it's $1 million sale, then that could be huge. But it's most likely not $1 million sale if they're forgetting to follow up with leads. So fixing that problem isn't going to completely revolutionize their business. So you move on to the next problem and you ask the business owner, all right, well, how many leads haven't showed up to appointments recently? And oh man, it's way more common than you'd think. I feel like every day we've got leads slipping through the cracks just because Sally's doing all this other work and doesn't have time to send reminders, and Johnny's doing all this other work and he forgets to send reminders, and we try and send reminders, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Bam. You've got the biggest pain point right there. They've got more emotion tied to it. They dig into more of the details, and you know that fixing that problem is going to be a huge pain relief for this business owner. And so you can dig into it even more and say, all right, well, how much is your product worth? How many leads are slipping through the cracks? What is solving this problem worth to you? So let's say that they've got a $500 product and 2 leads are slipping through the cracks every single week simply because they aren't following up. And they know that they need to follow up, and the business owner has told Johnny that he needs to follow up more and Sally that she needs to follow up more. And they know, but he understands that they get busy and it's not always possible to send a ton of appointment reminders. So they've got 2 leads that are slipping through the cracks every week. And so we just do the math for them. And we say, all right, what's your close rate? Okay, it's 25% close rate on average. Then you say, okay, well, then if your product's worth $500 per close and you've got 2 leads slipping through the cracks every single week because you forget to follow up, that's 8 leads per month at a 25% close rate. That's 2 closes per month at $500. That's $1,000 per month that you're losing simply because you're not following up. And you say, would it make sense to implement a $300 solution to fix this problem that's costing you $1,000 per month? Of course it does. And any business owner, if you break it down for them logically like that, you're not going to have to sell them. They're going to be begging you to get this solution implemented as quickly as possible because it's going to save them money and make them more money, and they see that. So what you want to do is spend 80% of your time focusing on the calendar section and the automation section, showing them how they can set up calendars that automatically books appointments and then set up their automation that sends them appointment reminders without anyone having to do anything. And it's going to be a no-brainer offer. And if you're offering all that, you can set whatever price you want, but you could even sell that for $500 a month, and it's still going to make sense because it's going to make them an additional $500 a month just for doing that. And so that's how this works. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do any selling because they're going to be asking you to get this implemented as soon as possible. And so don't do what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is spending 80% of the time going over everything and 20% of the time trying to figure out the one solution that they can find to help their pain. And you want to spend 80% of your time focusing on the biggest pain point, and then 20% of your time saying, okay, and by the way, in the future, we've also got websites that we can help you out with, and we've got the CRM system to help you stay organized, but we can get to that at a later date. For now, let's just focus on this, get you comfortable with the software, and then moving forward, just know that we have a solution here for you. And the business owner is going to be ecstatic knowing that their biggest pain point is getting solved, and they're not going to be overwhelmed by the software because you only showed them the calendars and the automation, 2 features, and you say, hey, and also we're software as a service, so we're going to help you get going. We've got these onboarding videos to give you. We're going to help you along the way, and here's what you need to do to learn how to implement these solutions to your business. And they're going to feel comfortable knowing that you're there with them. They've got a solution, and they've got solutions that you can talk about later down the road that are going to help with some of the pain points that aren't quite as painful right now. And so this is how I go about selling high level. And there is also a formula that I promised you. So here it is. And it still involves talking about the features, but it takes it even further. And you've probably heard features and benefits, but this takes it even one step past that. And it's feature plus benefit plus outcome. And so you talk about the feature that you have within the software, but then you talk about the benefit that they're going to get from implementing this feature. And then you talk about the outcome, and you connect all the dots in their head for what they're going to get and why this benefits them and the problem that they are facing. It's all about them and their problems. So what this looks like when you break it down into a sentence is you can feature so that benefit, which means to you outcome. So it looks something like this. You can use the calendars and automations feature of this software, that's the feature, so that your customers can book appointments online and you can send them automatic appointment reminders without having to do anything manually. That's the benefit, which means to you that you'll have more time in your day to focus on other aspects of business, and the leads won't be slipping through the cracks because you know that they'll be getting their appointment reminders at the times that you set it up. It's as simple as that. You just plug it into that formula, and it's feature, benefit, outcome. You do all the work for them. Don't assume that they're going to connect the dots in their own head, and just because you know how it works and how it's going to benefit them, that they also know that. You want to do all the work for them and connect those dots and do feature, benefit, outcome, plug it into that sentence. You can feature so that benefit, which means to you outcome, and it's going to connect the dots and make the sale so much easier because they're going to see exactly how it benefits them. And so that's really how you go about selling this software. And if you also come onto the calls with them with the mindset that you're here to solve their problems instead of to sell them something, it's going to completely change the dynamic. And all of a sudden you become a consultant for their business that they put trust in instead of a salesperson that they're kind of hesitant of the whole time. And this is the way that you sell high level without coming off as salesy or getting rejected. Because if you go about it this way, by the end of the call, I promise you, they're going to be begging you for the solution, and they're going to wonder how they can get this implemented as soon as possible. And if you connect the dots for them and show them how it saves them money and how it doesn't make sense not to implement this because they're losing money and they could be making so much more with one simple solution, then it's a no-brainer. They're going to buy it every time, and it is such an easy sale. And the best part about high level is that as you learn it, and once you completely understand it, then it is such a comprehensive software that you do have a solution for just about every problem that just about any business owner is going to face. And so you can go in there knowing that you have a solution, even if you don't know their problem yet. And it just makes it so easy. And that's why I harp on learning this so much, because if you don't learn this software and you just try and sell it, then it's going to be so difficult, because you're going to go in there with a script, you're going to try and say the same thing every time, and it's just going to be confusing for everyone, and it's so tough to make sales that way. But if you understand this software deeply and have used this software in your own business or for your own agency and have helped other business owners implement this into their business, then it becomes so easy, and you can just walk in knowing that you've got a solution and you're the go-to person to help them out with whatever they need. And again, you become more of a consultant as opposed to a salesperson. But you absolutely need to know how this software works inside and out first. And in order to do that, I have made a bunch of YouTube videos that teach you how to use this software, all the different features of this software, so that you can start using it, implementing it, and selling it to business owners. All that is on YouTube. It's free. And I also have 3 courses that I give away for free. The first one is called SaaS Agency Secrets. That is a 100% free course that I give away to anyone. You don't have to sign up as my affiliate. You can already have a high-level account. That's an absolutely free course that I give away. And then I have 2 more courses. The first one is SaaS from Scratch, and that's a course that I created that I walk through step by step from the beginning of me creating a new SaaS agency, all the way from selecting my name, getting a domain, all the way to creating my websites, my landing pages, my automations, setting up calendars, doing everything to create a SaaS agency. I documented my entire journey, and I give that course away for free when you sign up as my affiliate. And I also have an onboarding tutorial course that is a course that I created where I took my name, my logo, my face off every single video, and I first teach you how to use the software, but I also give you that course so that you can use it for clients that you sign up. So it allows you to start landing clients immediately, and rest assured that they're getting all their questions answered once they get onboarded, because I've gone through everything that they need when getting onboarded, and I give you that course so that you can send it to your clients. So you get both of those courses plus the other free course for free just for signing up as my affiliate. I've got my affiliate link below this video, so go ahead and sign up now and get started. You get all those courses, and I've also got a video that I'll link to here that's a tutorial for beginners and goes through all of the different tabs of HighLevel and shows you how to get started with the software. And if you enjoyed this video, you can also subscribe to this channel here for more content that I'm constantly releasing every single week. So I hope this video helped, and I will see you in the next video.